Hey, what's up? Good morning. I am out on my walk. There's lots of mosquitoes out here, so I'm moving around a bit. I don't have a mic, but something which is kind of on my heart and my spirit, and I wanted to share it with you. Thank you for spending your time here. Here's the thing. So my husband and I got married 18 years ago, 18 years ago, almost 2 decades ago. It's crazy to think about because I still feel like I'm 18 years old sometimes. We firmly believe in premarital counseling, and we had premarital counseling with a gentleman named LaVorce Holloway in the Atlanta area. So shout out to Pastor LaVorce. We're still going strong thanks to your leadership and your guidance. But this isn't a religious conversation. Apologies for all the noise and all the bouncing and all the walking. It is what it is. If I stand in one spot, I'm going to get completely eaten alive by mosquitoes. So I got to keep moving. So I apologize for that in advance. But here's the thing. The thing that stood out to me the most among many of the other nuggets of information that Pastor LaVorce shared with us in counseling with us. And again, this is not a religious conversation. It's not a spiritual conversation, I guess. But he talked to us about the concept of marriage and growing in marriage. And this is for the single people too. I'm going somewhere, stay with me. Just stay with me. You're two people starting on two opposite ends of whatever your worlds are. You come with your own baggage, your own experiences, your own backgrounds, all the things. But the thing is, in marriage, you're growing together to the same spot from your respective places. You're growing together. And ideally, we refer to people being kind of the same mindset, ready for marriage, if you will. You're moving towards the same spot. And people have all kinds of disagreements around, should you believe in the same religion? Do you need to be equally yoked? Does it matter if you're equally yoked? All that means is that you're connected to the same spot. So even though you're on your own respective journeys to that spot, you're connected to the same spot as you're marching towards whatever your journey is in life. And so here's the thing. As I'm on my morning walk and I'm huffing and puffing and carrying on, it occurred to me that in terms of your journey and thinking about this whole concept of continuity and building kind of this journey and this through line of life, you have to kind of understand what you're marching towards. And I personally have had the experience of feeling like, I'm on this ladder of life and this journey, and I don't even know where the journey is headed. Even though there are very specific things that I've accomplished in my life, including this mosquito bite on the back of my arm. Even though there are very specific things in my journey of life that imply or indicate that I know where I'm headed, we don't know what the future holds. But you know that there's one thing that you're marching towards continuously. And so similarly, as analogous as it is to think about two people moving together towards the same spot, you as an individual have to understand, what are you marching towards? Is it towards, having a family and being happy? Is it towards some sort of goal you're trying to accomplish and achieve? Is it towards something else in particular? Are you marching towards something that you didn't realize you were marching towards? Are you marching towards something that you didn't think about that you're marching towards? You really have to sit down and understand who you are and understand where you're headed on this journey of life. And that is so critically important. Part of my journey of establishing continuity in my life involved really understanding and isolating myself a bit from the noise, from all kinds of things. And for me, that literally meant I was separated from employment for a while, which was unintentional, and I was fighting it tooth and nail because I'm like, why isn't this working? But I realize now in retrospect that was a period of isolation for me that was intentional to get me to a place to understand what I'm marching towards and where I am. Isolating yourself from, and I'm not saying go into a big hole, into a basement somewhere and don't talk to anybody. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to realize and sit back and think about, what are the things in my life that are distracting me? And during that period of my life, I didn't realize that my job was distracting me. It was distracting me from understanding who I am. I was so busy trying to make sure that I was what I thought other people wanted me to be, that I didn't realize that who I was the most important thing. So during that isolation period, what I did was I poured myself into the fundamentals that exist for me. For me, that happens to be my faith, my religion as a Christian. For you, it might be something totally different. For you, it might be yoga. For you, it might be meditation. Am I saying that you need to quit your job? No, not at all. Please do whatever you need to do to make sure you have roof over your head and have the things that you need and the basics that you need. But it might be something as simple as turning off the radio and off the music. You know, there's a lot going on in music. Of course, everybody wants to drive by right now, right? Total silence for me. But now that I'm recording something, everybody wants to drive by. Airplanes want to go overhead, the whole bit. But it might be turning off the radio and being in silence. It might be finding that thing that helps you hear your voice, your inner voice most clearly. For me, it's going on a walk. Every time I go on a walk, my mind, like there's so much clarity in my mind because my body personally is connected to physical movement in a way that it just kind of, it's healing for me in a lot of ways. So find the thing when you have the most mental clarity. When you have kind of those aha moments, take note of where are you? What are you doing? What time of day is it? Who's around you? Because that is the template that you should use to recreate those moments of mental clarity over and over again. So for me, again, it's on a walk by myself. Even if I'm listening to an audiobook or a podcast, it's just mental clarity always comes when I'm on a walk. Maybe for you, it's when you're in the kitchen cooking and you know, you're stirring the pot, cooking whatever you're cooking, making dinner, lunch, whatever it is. That's when you have your mental clarity. All I'm saying is when you have those moments of clarity, take note of what you're doing, where you are, what's happening around you, what time of day is it, are you alone, are you with someone? Figure out what that is for you and try to recreate that space as much as possible during this period of understanding and trying to figure out who you are, because that is going to be the key to obtaining continuity. That is step number one. And if you don't do that part, you're not going to get continuity. You're constantly going to be struggling and fighting between work and life and fighting between what feels terrible and trying to make sense of it. You're constantly going to be fighting and struggling. And that is the piece that I really need for everyone to understand. You know, I'm still continually checking back in with myself to understand what clarity means for me. Does it make sense? Am I doing what's on my journey? What's on my path? Am I still marching toward the thing that I think I'm supposed to be marching towards? Making sure that thing doesn't change. And once you kind of take that time and get that clarity, figure out what you're marching towards, write it down, figure out a way to make sense of it in a way that you understand continuously. This is what it is. This is what I'm marching towards. Because in that, you will figure out who you are, where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, what this life is supposed to be looking like. I don't know, it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference in the world. Because for so long, I was legit living in a space of trying to be all the things that I thought everybody else wanted me to be, whether it was work, at home, in every component of my life. And that really, in retrospect, I mean, it got me through. I was doing all the things and, you know, making it all work, but it wasn't unique and truly edifying for me because I was so busy doing for everybody else, for me. So the most important thing that you can do in terms of trying to achieve and understand your own sense of continuity and what makes sense for you is to figure out what's that thing you're marching towards, right? And you can't understand that unless you're willing to isolate yourself in certain ways and get to that realization of, okay, this is who I am innately. This is what I do. This is what makes sense to me. This is what I do naturally well. This is how I put a label to, or my own label to, that je ne sais quoi of who I am, right? What is that spark that you have that nobody else has? How do you understand what that is? More of a sense of finally understanding a portion of who you are and looking at yourself historically to realize, wow, I've been this person all along, but I've been suppressing it. I didn't realize that's who I was. I did it naturally well underneath kind of the radar. But that thing that's within you really has to have a chance to kind of come out and shine and be real and be honest and be true to you, because it's who you are. It's who you were created to be. It's why you're on this earth. It's kind of your purpose of life, if you will. So I just want to encourage you in that. And it's just part of the clarity that I have had on the walk today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful to you. I do want to hear from you. You know, when you think about your moments of clarity, when do you have the most clarity? Leave a comment. Let me know. I want to hear from you where you get clarity. It might spark some ideas for somebody else who's watching as they're trying to understand when they get clarity. You know, where are you? What are you doing? What time of day is it? Who's around you? Are you sitting still or are you moving? And in what way are you moving? Is it cooking? Is it cleaning? Is it, I can get a lot of clarity through cleaning. I will tell you, clarity rarely comes when you're distracted by the irony of watching this on your phone or mobile device. You know, you have to kind of have other voices away in a kind of a way, if you will. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point. The point is, leave a comment. Tell me, how do you find clarity in your life? Where are you? What are you doing? What does that clarity look like? How do you know that it's clarity? What kind of butterflies do you feel in your stomach that tell you that, wow, that's a moment of clairvoyance for yourself? I want to hear about it, you know? And also, you know, leave a comment. Let me know, was this helpful for you? Does this kind of give you some insight that you want to share with others? So please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when these kinds of videos come out, and I'll continue to share with you. So thank you so much for watching and staying with the bumpiness of this walk and with the sweat. I'm gonna go inside and get something to eat and get a shower and get myself together, because we got things to do in the household today. So take care, be well, talk to you soon.